The Trump administration's plan to end temporary protected status for Haitians in the U.S. was blocked yesterday by a federal court in Washington, D.C. The program, which allows Haitians to live and work legally in the U.S., was set to expire today, a move that would have left roughly 350,000 people vulnerable to deportation. But the Trump administration plans to appeal, and as Stephanie Sy reports, that uncertainty has one Ohio city bracing as it fears becoming the next focus of immigration enforcement.
Thank you. I have a right to remain silent.
Masked men confronting congregants while others record on their cell phones. A chaotic scene unfolds at a church in Springfield, Ohio. Only it's not real.
Department of Homeland Security, open up!
Community members are role-playing how an ICE raid might unfold, and they clearly plan to resist, armed with scripture
Thank you. You have been arrested. Come with me. Excellent.
and knowledge of their constitutional rights.
They are supposed to not be able to enter private spaces without a judicial warrant.
I can't imagine what it would be like for me if I had to leave my country because I couldn't live here safely.
There is a lot of support for Springfield out there.
Senior Pastor Carl Ruby founded a network of churches in the area offering support to the city's Haitians and, in some cases, sanctuary.
I would want people to stand with me. I would want people to protect me. So that's all that we're trying to do.
Nancy Flinchbaugh has called Springfield home for 30 years.
I'm here because I'm very concerned about what's going to happen to the immigrants in our community and to my town, because I think it's going to have a detrimental effect on all of us.
In recent years, Springfield has experienced a surge in Haitian migrants, most of whom came under the Department of Homeland Security's temporary protected status designation. TPS lets people from countries deemed temporarily unsafe due to war or natural disasters live and work in the U.S. legally. The Trump administration has tried to terminate TPS status for 11 countries in his second term.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
And the president has had Springfield's Haitian population in his sights since the 2024 election, when the city became a political flashpoint and focus of misinformation. If the Trump administration's decision not to renew TPS for Haiti is ultimately allowed by the Supreme Court, many of the city's roughly 15,000 Haitian residents will become subject to deportation orders.
The USA that used to be seen as the beacon of the world is no longer that USA.
Viles Dorsonville is originally from Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, and moved to Springfield in 2021. He runs the Haitian Support Center in Springfield.
I'm afraid of folks being detained for no reason. I'm afraid of seeing parents being separated from their kids.
Despite the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's determination that Haiti no longer meets the criteria for TPS, the U.S. State Department has a do not travel for any reason advisory for the country due to kidnapping, crime, terrorism, and unrest. And the FAA has a ban on commercial flights to its main airport in place at least until March.
I think that the American people who've been enjoying their country not having those type of problems that immigrants have would not understand what we are going through. If they were living in a condition where they feel insecure by armed hoodlums, if they were in a condition where they wouldn't be able to feed their kids, if they were in a condition where they were persecuted by their own government, wouldn't they try to get to somewhere safer?
A federal judge sided with that view yesterday. In a challenge to the Trump administration's move to end TPS, D.C. District Judge Anna Reyes wrote that the decision appeared driven by hostility to non-white immigrants, and she called the termination of TPS preordained and not based on the realities on the ground in Haiti. The Trump administration is expected to file an immediate appeal. Ultimately, their fate could end up decided by the Supreme Court. But not everyone in Springfield would be upset to see Haitian migrants leave.
There's definitely a resentment in Clark County, and that's the tension that this issue brought to town. Oh, he was a good one.
Laura Rosenberger has lived in Springfield for 3 decades and is the executive chairman of the Clark County Republican Party. She says many in Springfield were taken off guard by the arrival of such a large number of Haitian immigrants.
I think a lot of the people, the Native people, feel like they were not asked. It was not put to a vote. The people had no voice. All of a sudden this happened.
And she says the surge in population led some Ohioans to feel pushed aside.
There's a lot of competition for jobs, and when you bring in such a large amount of people, that increases the friction because people are fighting each other for jobs and resources. You know, the wages that the Haitians will work for are much lower than what your typical American worker is going to work for.
But if these manufacturing companies lose their workers, might that lead to a greater shift away from areas like yours that have already lost so much of their industry?
Well, we need our people to step up and apply for these jobs, and the manufacturers need to hire them, even if it means hiring them for a little bit of a higher wage than what the Haitians would have worked for.
When you see the erosion of the economy over time, you can start to be kind of protectionist. And then you have a scarcity mindset that is, well, if somebody else is getting this, then I'm not getting something.
Melanie Wilt is the former commissioner of Clark County, which includes Springfield. She admits the population surge was difficult to manage at first, but
we've spent the last 4 or 5 years really adjusting to that, helping to assimilate the Haitian community, making them part of our workforce. And they're an important part of this community now. So if that were to change overnight with the expiration of TPS, our community would have to adjust.
Like many industrial Midwest cities, Springfield lost jobs and residents for decades, a trend that began reversing in recent years, partly due to Haitian immigrants.
One of the goals that we've had for a long time is to increase our population, because increased population strengthens the tax base. And we've seen that our immigrant neighbors really do spend their money in the community.
But with the end of TPS come a lot of unknowns.
What do you think should happen to these folks? I mean, it's called TPS because it's supposed to be temporary.
Well, I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican, and I believe that this country needs immigration reform. But I think we need to do it in a way that is respectful of human dignity. I think we need to do it in a way that is predictable.
Vilas Dorsonville says that uncertainty is weighing heavy on his community.
They're tired. When I say tired, I mean they just don't know what to do next. They're not accepted back home, and they're not accepted anywhere. They keep running from time to time and not being able to set up anywhere. So they're tired.
Tired, with no clear place to run to next. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Tsai.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.